I'm Mark Gregory, and I've spent a lifetime in kitchens across the world and made it to the very top of the game. Cooking for royalty, presidents, prime ministers, movie stars, pop legends and sporting greats. But now I've come home to my castle in New Zealand, where life is all about family and friends. In this series, I'm going to give you all the ingredients you need to create the most memorable Christmas. With simple dishes that don't cost the earth, but taste $1 million. Delicious gifts that will really mean something to those receiving them. And some of the simplest but most fun party games to round off any Christmas occasion.
Welcome to Christmas at the Castle.
Analise's Turkish Delight is a fabulous gift to make and give at Christmas. I tackle an all-time Christmas classic, Christmas mince pies, and give them a luxurious twist. And the kids take over Christmas with the help of an elf. In the castle kitchen today is someone who's cooked in many of the world's best restaurants. She's an Instagram sensation, and with her own book and TV series, she's also my gorgeous daughter, Analiese Gregory.
Hello, how's it going?
It's going very good. Now, I'm glad you're here because I need some help.
Okay, but yeah, with that shirt, obviously.
What are you talking about? I bought this myself.
Therein lies the problem. But yes, help.
Okay, Turkish Delight. It's very Christmassy. Can you help me with it?
Of course, just tell me what I need to do.
Okay, first thing, we need 2 pots. Pot 1, pot 2. Could you put the sugar in pot 1 with as much water as it needs to soften it, please?
Okay.
Turn it on, and what we're looking for is 115 degrees Celsius, which is about 240 Fahrenheit. There's a sugar thermometer next to the stove.
I know, I saw it. Looks like an antique.
I have had this since the 1980s, and do you know what?
You.
It works a treat. And if you have a sugar probe, you by all means use a sugar probe, but you can keep this type of sugar thermometer in the sugar. We've got some lovely ingredients. So for pot 2, we've got pomegranate juice. We have got lemon juice, cream of tartar, and xanthan gum. And we also have some corn flour. Now we're going to put these into a liquidizer, blitz them all together, put them in the pot, cook it until it's a thick custard. Pomegranate juice, lemon juice, cream of tartar, xanthan gum.
So I feel like the xanthan's a bit techy for a recipe like this. Talk to me about why it's there.
Okay, it helps actually thicken and stabilize it because a lot of Turkish Delight recipes don't actually work, and it really helps it.
Yeah, I've realized that over time.
And actually here in New Zealand, do you know where I got mine? In the bacon section at the supermarket. There we go. Here we go.
It's a very delicious pink milkshake colour.
It is. It won't stay that colour, but it'll start off that colour. There we go. That goes into there. We'll put this onto a medium to high heat. This is pan 2. So your sugar is coming to a boil. Keep the sugar on a gentle boil until it reaches a temperature of 115 degrees C, 240 Fahrenheit. Bring the second saucepan to a simmer and stir as it thickens into a thick, smooth paste.
I'm about 10 degrees off. What are we going to set it in?
This tray.
Okay.
Spray it with some food release, and then your foil will stick beautifully. Point it to the corners. Turn it over and spray it again, and then it'll pop out. So you can see this is making a thick, thick custard. We need to get that really thick. And Analiese, what temperature are you at?
I'm at 110, so I'm 5 degrees off softball stage.
Okay.
All right, we're there.
Perfect. All right.
Cool.
So could you pour about half in, something like that, please, Analiese?
Yep.
And I'll do this so the camera can pick it up. So the sugar will thin down this incredibly thick custard, which is the pomegranates. And we will flavour this at the end with rose water. Can we go with rose water today?
We can definitely go with rose water.
Excellent.
I mean, pink kind of feels like rose water anyway.
It does, doesn't
Yeah.
it? There we go. I think we can take the rest of it now. Thank you. We will return this to the stove, and it will take up to about an hour for this to go incredibly thick again, like you saw it before. It will coat the bottom a little bit and want to come away. And when it's like that, it is ready. But it does take a while.
So the mix is on the stove. It's got about 60 minutes, time for a podcast. And then we're going to flavor it right at the end so that the flavor doesn't get cooked out and diluted. So today we're going to use rose water, but you can use orange blossom, you
can
know,
do.
whatever you like. Oops, put that
And
over
how much
there.
rose water? Because different rose waters, too much is way too much. 1 capful for that amount with
Okay.
this particular rose water. Basically, if you add too much rose water, it's much less pleasant to eat.
How do we know when it's done?
That will go back to being as thick as it was when it was in pan 2. So it'll get really thick, like a thick custard again, and it will pull away from the bottom. And essentially what we have to do is cook it out, cook it down till it reaches that point. And that takes usually about an hour. Once it's done, pour it in our prepared tray, let it go cold, put it in the fridge or somewhere dry. I've made one earlier, turn it out. As I said, this makes a lot of Turkish Delight gifts. There we go. In here, we have corn flour and icing sugar at a ratio of about 90% corn flour to 10% icing sugar. So, to make it easy for me, to every 100 grams of corn flour, 10 to 15 grams of icing sugar. But I find if I add too much icing sugar, you need some, but actually,
Mounts?
yeah, it wants to sweat. I normally cut them into what I call elf-sized pieces and straight into our icing sugar and corn flour mix.
Has a pleasing texture.
I quite like Turkish Delight fresh. You can put it on a cake rack after putting it here and dry it out in a cupboard, in an oven drawer for up to 2 weeks. I have a nice little box here. Could you write in the card to someone you'd like to give some Turkish Delight to? Just make a nice little note so it's personalized. There we go. You can serve it fresh from the fridge, cut it into squares, put it on the table, or put it into a little box like this and give it to someone as a gift. Thank you for joining me. We're going to be making a pinata later because obviously the kids at Christmas love to bash and smash a pinata. Will you hang around for that?
Yeah, is it going to be filled with Turkish Delight?
Actually, wait, there are surprises. Coming up, I tackle an all-time Christmas classic, Christmas mince pies, and give them a luxurious twist. And the kids take over Christmas, just as they should. This year is going to be a cracker. No sitting in front of a dead tree, eating candy out of socks. We've got something much better for you, with how to make the most luxurious mince pies. They're so good, Santa will visit you twice. Thank you so much. Ah, there we go. For our luxurious fruit mince, there's a few ingredients. We have candied peel. That goes into a bowl. There we go, probably should use a spoon. Sultanas, raisins. Now these are the dried cherries, and this is what turns this from being good to sensational. There we go. In goes the soft brown sugar. Now here I have some allspice, which for me is the taste of Christmas. Cinnamon, nutmeg, lemon juice, and orange juice. In mince, you want plenty of flavor. So, an orange in there, the finely grated zest. I'm using the finest setting on my box grater here. For Christmas, you can buy very good fruit mince, or you can make your own as we're doing here. But for me, fresh is best. And when I say fresh, I make mine at least 2 months before because it needs to mellow out and the flavors grow. Here's a nice way to do the apple nice and small. Thin slices. Put those to one side. Just a very small dice. And this adds little pockets of freshness. Now I'm using a Granny Smith apple. You could use a Cox. They're probably the best too. Orange juice. Lemon juice. Allspice. cinnamon, and we need some nutmeg. Now, in early times, these spices were so precious, people fought wars over them. And while that's coming to a simmer, I will mix this. If you can see down into there, you begin to see all of the flavors and textures coming together. But when it's finished, it will be delicious. Okay, one more thing to add to the liquid, 1 cup of brandy. So in goes the brandy, and don't forget, over the next couple of months, the alcohol essentially will dissipate, and what you'll be left with is flavor. So there we have it, at a gentle boil, time to pour it over the fruit mince. All that deliciousness. Now this will soak in, cause the fruit to plump. Oh, there we go. And we will end up with a thick, unctuous, absolutely beautiful fruit mince. Now that's good, but it's not yet great. We've got one more thing we can add, and that's suet or vegetable shortening. The big thing is to let that go absolutely cold before you grate in your vegetable shortening or the suet. Cover it, leave it for a couple of days, and that will make it luscious and rich. And very importantly, when you eat your mince pie, there is a richness you cannot get any other way, and it will be sensational. So we leave that for a couple of weeks, and it turns into this. Have you ever had the problem where your mince pie tops pop up and the juices come out and cause them to stick to your pie tin? The way to get around that is to half chop it. So there's far less fruit pushing your lids off. Here we go. So it's half chopped, it's got a little bit thicker, and that will help prevent, it won't necessarily stop it entirely, but it will absolutely reduce your pie tops popping. It's pastry time, and we're going to make an almond pastry to go with our dried cherry fruit mince. Let's get started. So I'll put that in with the sugar, the ground almonds. In goes the flour, the custard powder. I will put some lemon zest in there. You could use orange or lime, whatever you've got in the fruit bowl. There we go. Now the butter needs to be cold. This is not quite as cold as is ideal. However, here in the kitchen, like everyone's, it gets a little bit warm. Blitz it till it looks like fine breadcrumbs. There we go. 1 egg, 2 to 3 tablespoons of water. There we go. So here's our pastry. As you can see, it's quite soft, and we need it quite soft for a very good reason. I'm just going to dust it with some flour. But what I am going to show you is how to fill your pastry tarts first. I'm going to make little mini tarts, and this amount of pastry will easily make 26 to 30 tartlets. Let's roll it into like a sausage. So what we do, we need about 25 grams per tart, something like that. So as you can see, you do not have to be too scientific here. Now, I just bought this one online, and this has a large mince pie and a small mince pie. This is something I've had for 20, 30 years. So all we do, dust it with flour and stamp out your tartlets. How easy is that? No rolling, no messing. Here's our fruit mince, which we have chopped to help stop it popping the tops. Now, I know you're supposed to fill it a little bit less than that, but I really like it when your mouth explodes with fruit mince. So, given that we've chopped it, you can put a little bit more in. So fill it just below the rim of the pastry. These will go into the oven at around 180 degrees Celsius, which is 375 Fahrenheit for what? 15 to 20 minutes. This is firm. I've put this in the fridge for 30 minutes. This is the other half of the pastry. And here we go. I need to roll it out a little bit thinner than the bases are. So I would like this to be about 2 millimeters, something like that. Now you can see that is far from a perfect roll. No hassle. Just get your star cutter, dip it in some flour, cut it out. Just press them slightly into the top of your mince pies. These are going to go into the oven, 180 degrees Celsius, 375 Fahrenheit, for 15 to 20 minutes until they're golden. You might notice there's one missing. Very nice. So once they come out of the oven, give them a good rest for 20-25 minutes. They should be cool enough to handle then, and they will have set and firmed up because this pastry is very short. I need to make a little bit of frosting, a little bit of brandy icing. So all I have in there is a tablespoon of melted butter. There's no real recipe for this. Well, there's one in the book. But to make life easy, don't weigh out absolutely everything. So just keep adding some icing sugar so you get a nice, thick, buttery frosting. Now we add just a drizzle, of brandy. So what we have now, you can see, is a nice drizzly icing. This is some apricot jam that I've melted down. This will glaze our little mince pies. Make them look really pretty. Now you can keep these in the biscuit tin for up to a couple of weeks. Now it's time for our brandy icing. Just a small blob and let it drizzle. And we're going to add a little bit of bling. So there you have our dried cherry luxury fruit mince, and we've zhuzhed up the mince pies, a little bit of apricot jam, brandy icing, and some bling. Merry Christmas! Next, what's Christmas really about? The kids. So get ready to bash and smash a Christmas pinata. To round off any Christmas occasion, we love to play games in our family. And today's is a cracker, a Christmas pinata. So we're going to whack and bash a pinata.
Okay, so I've never made a pinata before.
Okay, so let's make one. If you drop that over there, we need PVA glue and water, the same quantities. So my tip today is to spray your balloon. This is a 16-inch balloon because you need a big balloon. Could you spray it with food spray, please? All over. When we've paper mache'd it and you pop the balloon,
Yep.
you don't want the balloon to cause the pinata to collapse. You want it to just inside the pinata. Just get your newspaper, cut it into strips, and give it a good soaking with our PVA glue and water mix. There you go. And all you do is drop it straight on. And if you get any crinkles, just push them. Just push them flat. Perfect. Well done.
How many layers of this are you going to do?
Okay, good question. 3 layers of newspaper and 1 layer of crepe paper.
Okay.
And then, basically, you will not make a pinata that can't be smashed. Because when I made my first one, guess what I did?
It was an unsmashable pinata.
It was an unsmashable pinata.
I once bought a pinata for a friend's birthday party, and I forgot that people were meant to wear blindfolds when they smash it.
Yes.
Didn't last for very long.
No.
I was like, oh, I got something wrong here. Something went badly wrong.
Okay, so if you put that on, perfect. We have to make a strong handle because when you're bashing it, it's held by a rope and you don't want it just falling down.
Okay.
So we need to build in some strength.
All right, so you got 3 layers on the top now.
So what I do, another one. So basically, if you can see that, just fold a strip of paper, glue it again. So this piece of paper now is quite thick. It's about 6 layers. And all we do is make a pinch. You'll find it will create its own natural. And now, lots of bits of paper over the handle to strengthen
Okay,
it.
so the handle sticks.
Now, once you've covered that with 3 layers, we can put some crepe paper on it. So you get the idea. We've got one semi-made. Once it's dried, you pop it with a pin. The balloon collapses. Cut a little square hole like a letterbox so we can get things in it. Obviously pull the balloon out first. And this is the fun part. You fill it with whatever you want. Now, the one tip I have got is sweets, make sure they're pre-packaged. Because if they fall down, you don't want sweets, on the floor. Put as much as this as you can find space for.
I feel like we're in a situation where more is more.
If you want to get the smiles from the kids, absolutely fill it so it rains down all over them. You fill the piñata, and I'll keep sticking on. What are those things?
I don't know.
Oh, there's little sticky hearts.
Yep, hearts going in.
Could we put some stars?
Yep. Everything's going to go in. Yep.
There we go.
Chocolate money. There's stars. Soft dinosaurs for some reason. They're
Yes,
going
soft
in.
dinosaurs.
Okay, balls. Balls are going in.
Excellent.
And lots of jellied hot dogs.
Pre-packaged
Jellied hot dogs.
for food safety. There we go. Thank you. Now you get the idea. We need to push that in. So it says, you cover the whole thing. I'm going to put this over here because we have a pre-made one. Now that'll take overnight to dry because the PVA glue dries very quickly. And then you find whatever you've got left over from your Christmas trimmings and you stick on. So with our Christmas Bauble Pinata, when they bash it, it jingles. The kids are going to bash and smash that and get rained on with treats and little games. A twist on the traditional, my Luxury Cherry Mince Pies. A Christmas treat for Santa and for everyone to enjoy. Analise's Turkish Delight is incredible and simple to make. And a Christmas piñata is always a smashing party game your children are sure to remember. If you want to try any of the recipes from the series, you'll find them online. Happy Christmas! Next time, guest chef Analiese will make a festively spectacular cherry and panettone trifle. My lime and silver drizzled Christmas cake will turn you into a Christmas angel. And watch out for the holiday zombie madness.